I figure I've driven about 1 million miles in my life, probably more by now because I think I did that calculation about 5 years ago, and I've put in another 50,000 or 100,000 since then. And it's been a really big part of my life. I've had driving jobs where all I did was drive all day, and music is largely a driving job. You drive, 1,000 miles sometimes. Angelisa and I put in one tour in 2017 where we put in almost 10,000 miles driving all over the place in 6 weeks or something. It was just insane. And so there's a lot of time in the car and a lot of time without an opportunity for other distractions. So it's some of my best thinking time, and it's been some of my most productive creative time as well. Another great thing about driving is that I can't play my guitar and drive at the same time, not responsibly anyway. And so I get to do my usual songwriting discipline of writing the song with my voice first and then bringing it to guitar later. This first one I'm going to sing for you, I actually remember vividly driving and singing this song because it was the occasion of getting a traffic ticket. I was going through the main intersection of Coopeville, Washington, or the highway intersection of Coopeville, Washington, under a pedestrian bridge, and I was singing this song, or what there was of it at the time, at the top of my lungs, and I got pulled over. And I was grinning, and the cop didn't understand why. And I said, well, it's because I was having a ball singing a song that I'm working on. And, he gave me a ticket anyway. But it was nice to get one that I had, was in a good mood. Just that when I'm singing, Radar Love, or one of my own songs, that foot gets really heavy. As I'm tapping my foot, and the car's going... So I'm fortunate that's the only time I've gotten a ticket while writing a song. So this is Snooze Alarm. It's a Memphis blues, and I don't sing the call and response anymore for audiences. They all know what to do, but I'm going to do it here because I don't have you guys unmuted. So Snooze Alarm. Early to bed, early to rise, all that ever give me is bloodshot eyes. 5 more minutes, honey, hit the snooze alarm. Pushing it once, pushing it twice, pushing till noon and be mighty nice. 5 more minutes, honey, hit the snooze alarm. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Give me 5 more minutes, honey, hit the snooze alarm. We go out, we do it right. I wish we hadn't done it on a Sunday night. 5 more minutes, honey, hit the snooze alarm. We got home 3:45, kept on dancing on the kitchen floor. 5 more minutes, honey, hit the snooze alarm. 7 in the morning and I'm ready to scream. I was right in the middle of a beautiful dream. I dreamed I was singing in a big old band and didn't have to get up and go work for the man. There may be life after you die, but life before breakfast is a stinking lie. 5 more minutes, honey, hit the snooze alarm. 5 more minutes, 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 5 more minutes. Give me 5 more minutes, honey, hit the snooze alarm. All right. Thanks a lot. And speaking of Whidbey Island, I wrote this song. Rory, I'm really glad you're here today because I wrote a good chunk of this song, the earliest inspirations of it and some of the development of it, happened when I was driving with my wife all over Whidbey Island, having borrowed your Triumph TR7.
Oh,
You
yeah.
used to have the cutest little, it was a TR7, right? Not a Fiat.
No, it was a Fiat
A
X19.
Fiat X19. I get those two confused. They're contemporaneous and
I bought the
really
last one
similar.
in America, I think.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah, they only made that through 1980 or something like that, or for
yeah.
1 year. It was
I got
really
it up in Bellingham, brand new.
oh,
So,
great. Well, that's awesome. It was early in the 80s, 1983, 84, or something like that, and you loaned us that spectacular little car
oh,
for a
I
trip.
don't remember that.
Well, it was probably more memorable for the loanees than for the loaner. Yeah. So this song got written in your Fiat X19.
All right.
And now I'll have that story straight, because it had to be, because it was a convertible or a hardtop removable,
Yeah, the hard
and
top came up.
that was a very rare model for the TR7. That wasn't usual, but that was kind of how all the X19s came. So anyway, great car. Yeah. Do you ever wish you still had some of your old cars?
No, I mourned each one as a cast.
Ah, yes. Same thing. Hi, Alan. Nice to see you. Great. Now, we were just saying that I wrote this next song while I was driving Rory Wright's car in about 1984. So that was kind of fun connection. So this is called Driving, and it goes like this. Sunday morning, Whidbey Island, I've got my pedal to the floor. Life is good here on Whidbey Island. The tourists don't come around anymore. I've got my 42 Chevy and a gallon of gasoline, and you're the prettiest woman I have ever seen, and we're driving, Sunday morning, Whidbey Island, the air is cool and the road is clear. All alone here on Whidbey Island, since Andy's truck broke down last year. I haven't seen a vapor trail since 2044. I wonder if there's anyone on the mainland anymore, but we're driving, no particular place to go, driving, nothing on the radio. Sunday evening, do-do-do-do, Whidbey Island, do-do-do-do. It's time to turn and head for home. Do-do-do-do. There is no bridge now from Whidbey Island gone as far as we can go. I hear the crunch of gravel as I turn my car around. Your shadow next to mine, the sun is going down, and we're driving. Driving, no particular place to go. Driving, nothing on the radio.
I laugh at the first line about having the pedal to the floor. Those Fiats had pretty small engines, and Whidbey Island is not full of high-speed freeways.
No. Yeah, that car was mostly a joy around corners.
Yeah.
The biggest memory I have of actually driving that car on that trip was there's lots of places where the roads follow the section lines. You know, and you see you have a 55-mile-an-hour road with a 15-mile-an-hour corner in it, and taking that corner in a Fiat X19 is a real joy.
Kind of low to the ground.
Oh yeah, yeah. I later on in my life I had a MG Midget, and I could roll down the window, lean out, and touch the pavement. That's how that car was. The X19 was probably almost as low. Yeah, great stuff. The bridge that's mentioned, there is no bridge now from Whidbey Island. That of course, is the Deception Pass Bridge, which is one of the most magnificent places to go that I know of in the whole Northwest. Beautiful, old, arched steel bridge that goes over that rocky gorge with the Puget Sound at the bottom of it. Pretty amazing place. Yeah. Yes. So on that giant tour that Angelisa and I went on back in 2017, she actually went home straight. She flew straight home from Albuquerque. She was toast, and I think she had some obligation too. So I drove the rest of the way by myself back to California, or Ashland, or wherever we were staying. And I took the slow road. I really took my time driving solo. I stopped in Southern California in a town called Lebec, which has I have a deep history with Lebec, which is a little vacation town that's perched above the Grapevine, north of Los Angeles, south of Bakersfield. Anyway, I stayed at an Airbnb in Lebec, and while I was on that drive, I had the time to relax and write a song. And I have wanted to write a song about climate change and about environmental crises and degradation for a long time, but the words never came to me, and this one came as a poem. So I didn't write music to it until just a couple of years ago. But this is Someday Children, and I think I prefer it in E flat. So thank you, capo. I can play in E flat. When my dad was, I was going to say when I was about 10, so I guess that would be when my dad was about 31. He said to me, you know, a bee doesn't think buzz. A bee thinks flap, flap, flap. And that was a profound insight that I got at around that age. So naturally, it found its way into a song. A bee doesn't buzz from her own perspective. She feels every wing beat as it thunders in her ears. A tree doesn't speak unless he speaks so slowly that he finishes a sentence every 100 years. By the time I've sung this song, we'll have made 1,000 babies. Chances are those babies see the next century. And 11 billion more will take a look around them, and the truth will dawn upon them as they read their history. Hey there, children, can you hear that sound? It's the silence of the islands and the coastlines drowned. It's the sound of a savannah where the lion never roars. Someday, children, all this will be yours. Someday, children, all this will be yours. I go swimming on the reef. I don't forget my sunscreen. Takes a lot of sunscreen in this hot summer sun. And I love to eat my beef, though it outweighs all the mammals in the wild by a factor of 16 to 1. I remember when today was in the far, far future. Now the far, far future is pounding on the shore. If we don't listen now, these troubled times we're going through are gonna look like paradise in another decade more. Hey there, children, can you hear that sound? It's the silence of the islands and the coastlines drowned. It's the sound of a savannah where the lion never roars. Someday, children, all this will be yours. Someday, children, all this will be yours. A bee doesn't buzz from her own perspective. She feels every wing beat as it thunders in her ears. A tree doesn't speak unless he speaks so slowly that he finishes a sentence every 100 years. Thank you.
That's beautiful songwriting.
Thank you, Alan. It's very carefully fact-checked. I took a long time making sure that all the numbers that I quoted in that song were accurate. And yes, it's true that a child born today has a better than average chance of reaching age 100, or not reaching the next, reaching 2100. And that, yes, cattle outnumber all large mammals in the wild by 16 to 1 now. When I wrote the song, it was 15 to 1. And the projected peak of our population is 11 billion. We are into the S curve now. That's a new fact in the last decade, is that the population growth curve that we saw in the 70s that looked like we were going to outweigh the Earth ourselves by 2100 has gone into its usual S curve, and that's when it's expected to level off. So anyway, there's my statement about those things. And the important part of that song really, I think, is the beginning and the ending. It's more important for us to appreciate what we have, I think, than it is to get scared about what we might not have. That's the motivation.
I kind of like the ambiguity of the last line. Someday, children, all this will be yours. Is that a promise or is it a warning?
That's
Could be
beautiful,
both.
Roger. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's a wonderful lens to see it through. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Wow. Huh. Yeah. Someday, children, all this will be yours. That is, in fact, let's call that a promise. Here's to that being a promise. Hello, Naomi. Wow, I just sang Someday Children. And speaking of natural wonders, oh my gosh. Another song I wrote while driving was my Total Eclipse song, which is When the Sun Goes Dark. And I get so excited. It's probably a hazard on the road. No, I'm really careful. Really, I am, honestly. I'm a two-handed driver, eyes on the road, singing my heart out. I just remembered one of my favorite moments in all my driving days was in Seattle in traffic. And there's, hardly anybody smiles or is having a good time in traffic. But I happened to look over to my left and I saw this guy. My window was down. I could hear him clearly. I think it was a hot day. He was obviously a businessman because he had his jacket. His tie was loose and his collar was open, and he had his jacket tossed across the passenger seat. And he was belting out with the radio a Don Henley song. I think it was Forgiveness. He was belting out Don Henley's song Forgiveness at the top of his lungs, just grinning, and there was sweat on his face. And he's blowing off some steam after a day at the office. And when I was driving home from something right after I got back from the 2017 eclipse saw it in Casper, Wyoming. And after we got back to Hawaii and I was driving to Waimea, and I remember this song, this powerful song going through my head. It was, when the sun goes dark. I could see a whole squad of sailors singing this song. It has a bit of a sea chanty quality to it. So, when the sun goes dark, the birds don't make a sound. So my enthusiasm while driving still sticks with me. So here we go. When the sun goes dark, the birds don't make a sound. When the sun goes dark, the fox comes out and he looks around, and the time has come to gather round, my friends, when the sun goes dark. When the sun goes dark, the planets all come out. When the sun goes dark, the people raise up a joyful shout, and the air grows cool. You don't have time to blink. There's shadow bands and diamond rings, hot pink fire and pearly wings. The night bird calls and the cricket sings when the sun goes dark. When the sun goes dark. When the sun goes dark. And then the show is over. The diamond ring appears. Time begins to move again, and sound comes to my ears. It seems to last forever, and still it ends too soon. Shall we make a new beginning on this newest of new moons? When the sun goes dark, the bees go home to rest. When the sun goes dark, I kiss the ones that I love best. When the sun goes dark, in another place and time, look for me on the center line. Sunset colors all around, 1,000 crescents on the ground. I'll see you all, my friends, when the sun goes dark. When the sun goes dark, when the sun goes dark, when the sun goes dark. Thank you. Hi, John. Welcome aboard. Nice to see you, John Brady. Another song that I wrote while I was driving, that's our theme today, was, most of you already know this story, so I'll make it short. It was the time when I saw my friend who was due to take her own life on her own terms and on her own schedule 2 days later. So we got to spend 2 days or 2 hours together, 2 days before her passing, and I just feel so privileged to have been able to do that with her. We reminisced and sang and talked about our good times. It was wonderful. Anyway, so it really, really hit me. The whole experience was very powerful for me. I was so grateful to get to say goodbye to my friend, actually say goodbye, which is something that I'd never really, truly done before. And still to this day, that's the most thoroughly final goodbye that I've ever had the power and the privilege of experiencing. So anyway, here's to Christine. And this entire thing came to me as a poem while the tears were running down my face as I was driving away in about, 10 minutes, something like that. So this is called Goodbye. The last time I saw my father, we did not say goodbye. We said, so long, I'll see you. We knew it was a lie, for among the things I loved the most was his optimistic way. And we had to let our eyes express what our voices could not say. What our voices could not say. I said goodbye to you today. I drove away and cried. From grief or awe, I couldn't tell. It's hard to feel the tragedy when you lived and died so well. When you lived and died so well. And how lucky am I to get to say goodbye. How lucky am I to get to say goodbye. Thank you. Thanks all. Even the final realization of that song didn't happen anywhere except the car. The whole song is a car song because, as you know, I hit the road almost 4 years ago now. And one of the best places to sleep overnight, to stay overnight in your car for free, is gaming casinos on the West Coast. There's a whole string of small reservations, and they each have their own little casino, and they all let you stay in their lot overnight. and you can go in and eat at the restaurant, and it's open 24 hours, and it's friendly, and you go to the desk and just ask, and they say yes and give you a little parking pass. So that's one of my favorite resources when I'm traveling. And during that time when I was, on the casino circuit, that was when I was playing the casino circuit. I took that poem from 5 years before, and I turned it into a song just by saying the words over and over and over again until I started to feel the melody. English has a rhythm, and English has a melody. And when you just say it over until the words lose their meaning, just repeat the line until the words lose their meaning, and then the melody has a chance to appear. So that whole melody is done that way, line by line, when I had hours to spend at the beach and on the Oregon coast and on the highway. All right. Well, this is one that started for me on a bus trip. I wasn't driving. I was riding on the bus trip. And it's a true story of how that bus ride went. And it had an enormous impact on my devotion to songwriting, the role that music played on that trip, and the friendships, the bonding experience that happened, and the encouragement I got from my friends that I made, my temporary friends, all were super instrumental. And to some extent, all these years later, I'm still singing for those people. I'm still singing for the people that I met on a bus ride now almost 50 years ago. So this is called 7 Miles to Memphis, and it's another one that I also finished finally while I was driving on the Oregon coast and staying at the casinos. So visualize this happening while driving on Highway 101 near Cape Perpetua, Coos Bay, all those places. She got on at the Portland station on the first day out of 3. I liked the way she looked, and I was glad when she sat by me. She said, "Honey, what's your destination?" I said, "Memphis, Tennessee. I got a pickin' partner there, and it's a place I've always wanted to be." By the time we got to Bend, I knew her whole life story. She knew my dreams and my plans. By morning she was sleeping with her head on my shoulder. I was a happy man. Have a good life. It's been good to know you. It's 7 miles to Memphis. Did you read the sign? Have a good life. It's been good to know you. And maybe sometime, if the wind is right, we'll blow in the same direction for another night. It's a crazy world, and crazy things happen all the time. Next day, we made friends with the neighbors, and I got down my guitar. A couple of the many things you can't do in your car. The kid from Colorado had a 12-string Gibson, and he played on a couple of songs. And then he gathered up his stuff and motioned us to come along. 'Cause everybody knows that all the cool kids gravitate to the back of the bus. We made up endless verses to the Trailways Blues until the driver yelled at us. I was traveling with a sheet of paper that was laced with LSD. I cut apart a dozen hits and passed them out for free. A couple hours later, we were all best buddies, and I started playing my own songs. I'd only written half a dozen, so I had to play them twice, and everybody sang along. Have a good life. It's been good to know you. It's 7 miles to Memphis. Did you read the sign? Have a good life. It's been good to know you, and maybe sometime if the wind is right, we'll blow in the same direction for another night. It's a crazy world, and crazy things happen all the time. We stopped to get some breakfast and the scenery kept moving. When does this cafe slow down? We laughed until it hurt, 'cause they call it trailways. What a trip we took to Memphis town. I had a goodbye hug with my friend from Portland, and we promised that we'd stay in touch. We meant it when we said it, but we knew it doesn't happen too much. I turned back and hollered from the top of the stairs, I'm gonna make it, you wait and see. There was a chorus of agreement and they all waved back at me. Well, I never stopped writing, I never stopped singing. Did I make it in the music biz? Well, if you do what you love, love will follow. And if that's not success, what is? Have a good life. It's been good to know you. It's 7 miles to Memphis. Did you read the sign? Have a good life. It's been good to know you. And maybe sometime if the wind is right, we'll blow in the same direction for another night. It's a crazy world, and crazy things happen all the time. It's a crazy world, and crazy things happen all the time. That one has a couple of moments in it that are completely a result of having written it while driving. One of them is that there's this moment in the song. I mean, you can just, if I just sing a song over and over again, then its DNA will begin to express itself. I've got the DNA, you know, in my the seed, the song seed. It's all in there like an acorn, like an oak tree is present in an acorn. Because if I just continue to let it flower without tying it down to the guitar or even what key it's in, then things will start to emerge. And the one in that song, there's two of them in that song, one of them is have a good life, boom, boom. You know, after I started singing that, all of a sudden I started hearing that, I go, oh, that's in there. Have a good life, dun, dun, it's been good, that little moment, that musical bit. And I wouldn't have created that on purpose. It's just in the DNA of the song. And when I went to the guitar and figured out what key it needed to be in and what the chords were, I discovered that that was just laid out right on these two open strings. And so it was a little gift from the muse. And the other one is if that's not success, what is? It goes... What a trip we took to Memphis town. And it's this chord. I do not know that chord. I found out later that it's important in the song. It's the intro to Oh Darlin' by the Beatles. That's the chord that is the first chord in that song. I found out what it was called and what its harmonic justification was. But at the first, that's just plain how it sounded as I listened to it in the car in my head. All right, got one more? Shortly after I took off and hit the road, I wrote an email to my people in San Luis Obispo County telling the story of how I'd hit the road a little while before, and I sent a picture. The email was funny. It had a picture of a tent pitched under a bridge in Big Sur, California, with the ocean and the river and the beautiful surroundings. And the caption was, my friends told me if I kept doing this, if I kept being a songwriter, I would end up living under a bridge. And they were right. Yeah. And anyway, that had several different apparently quotable lines in it because my friend Steve Key said, who was also a songwriter, said, "Wow, there's several things in there," and he wrote me two whole stanzas, and I busted them into pieces and reworded some of them and reassembled them and added some stuff of my own, and so this is a co-write with Steve Key of San Luis Obispo or Pismo Beach, California. So here we go. Got to get this shuffle right. There it is. I'll be hitting the road for a little while, looking up friends who can make me smile. Settling here is on my mind, but I can only look as far down the road as my headlights shine. Shine, let 'em shine. They're never gonna shine around the corner, and that's just fine. Shine, let 'em shine. I can only look as far down the road as my headlights shine. Well, I left that town in 22. Thought I'd go home to the place I knew. I stepped in the river, but it wasn't the same. Well, it might have been the place, and it might have been me that changed. So I said to myself, I got 100 friends. I drive all night just to see them again. I don't have a schedule and I don't have a plan, but I've got my freedom and I got my minivan. Shine, let 'em shine. I hope I get to visit every one of them down the line. Shine, let 'em shine. But I can only look as far down the road as my headlights shine. I've been getting rid of the stuff I own. It's easier to fly with hollow bone. Trading it all for a little time to read a novel or write a song, or drive all day just listening to John Prine. Let 'em shine. I don't have a lot of money, but I got a lot of peace of mind. Shine, let 'em shine. I got $47 in my pocket, and it's all mine. I'll be hitting the road for a little while, looking up friends who can make me smile. Taking a stand for this life of mine, and looking just as far down the road as my headlights shine. Shine, let 'em shine. They're never gonna shine around the corner, and that's just fine. Shine, let 'em shine. I can only look as far down the road as my headlights shine. I can only look as far down the road as my headlights shine. Hi, Amber. Greetings. Are you in your car? You are? Oh my God, that's so perfect. Thank you.